Boom! We're back, Squeeze the Neck podcast, and
Boom.
Today I am wrong side of the river, but in the right city. Neasden with my new mate, Super Youssef. Thanks for doing this, mate.
I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for having me on.
Well, no, thank you. We met recently at Box Park during the Usyk Dubois fight week, right? I'm grateful to have you on, mate. But Super Youssef don't quite do you justice, mate. Apparently you box a little bit as well, so tell us who you are.
Super Youssef Khoumari. I've been in professional boxing, I think coming on 10 years, I'm not sure exactly coming on 10
really?
years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Got a record of 18 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw. And very recently I was the English champion. Looking to just add more on to the honours and, work my way up to a British title and just achieve what I can. Do the best I can and achieve what I can get.
That's it, mate. So, like, you say you've been a pro for 10 years?
Yeah, I think it's coming up 10 years.
Time flies, huh? Time flies.
So
How old are
8
you?
years, 8 years.
How old are you now?
I'm 29.
I was going to say, you're still relatively young, so you turned over fairly young. Like, what was your amateur career and experience like?
I started boxing initially at 9 years old.
Okay.
Didn't really, you can't have your first amateur fight till you're 11.
That's it,
so
yeah.
I got to 11, I had my first bout. I think my total amateur career had about 40 fights, 45 fights. I lost 10. In them fights there, I think I won the Haringey Box Cup, I won a London ABAs, I won the Southern Area title. At the time they had boxing belts, so they had the Southern Area title, English title in amateur, so I won the Southern Area title. But I think I got to a stage of amateur boxing where I felt I hit my ceiling.
Right.
Ever since, I don't know, till about 14, 15, I used to always watch professional boxing. And all the coaches say to me in the gym is, you've got a pro style, you need to change your style, it's too professional, you need to stop watching professional boxing. And it got to a stage where, how long am I going to keep fighting myself to compare to amateur boxing?
Right.
I'm just going to do what's natural to me and turn pro. So when I got of age and I spoke to my coach obviously and he said, yeah, it's time to go. I just turned over at 21 and the journey's been going from then.
Always kind of mad advice what you just said there, and people saying you've got to change because you're too much like a pro. The obvious is to turn pro, innit, and do your thing that way. But where are you from originally, mate? Are you from Neasden? Is this your area?
I grew up in Wembley. It's
Okay.
about 5 minutes down the road. I've always been in Wembley. I've always been around North West London. I started boxing at the All Stars Boxing Gym.
Oh, right, okay.
Which is up in West London.
Yeah.
And I was there for about, I think, 8, 9 years as well. And then I come over here to Neasden with Xavier, and I've been here ever since. So I did my senior amateur career here.
Oh, right, you were still an amateur when you came over, right?
Amateur. So my senior amateur career, I think I come here just as I turned senior. So all my senior amateur career was here, and obviously turned pro here. But all my junior career was at All Stars.
Right, I
So I
got
was there
you.
for a long time. I've been here for a long time as well.
Yeah.
When we have to jump around gyms, man, I like to, where I'm comfortable, I'll stay there.
Right. So, like, you fight a lightweight, I believe, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sitting with you now. You ain't a lightweight right now, right? You're a big guy. Like, what's that like for you? What's the cut like?
Do you know what? Not too bad.
Really? Okay.
Surprisingly, not too bad. I used to do super feather.
Oh, wow, okay.
I used to do super feather. And imagine me at super feather.
Yeah.
I could do it when I was younger. When I was about maybe 21, 22, 23, I could do it. But, as you say, as you get older, it gets a bit harder. And it got to a stage where it was just a bit too much, you know what I mean? The problem with what happened with me was I hadn't actually made super featherweight for 2 years. Because, COVID happened and, no one was boxing. So I didn't know I'd outgrown the weight. Just a fight came up and I took it. And I was killing myself to make the weight. So now moving up to lightweight, it's a lot easier. I can eat a lot more. I'm a lot more relaxed making the weight. There's a lot more calories in my diet.
Yeah,
I got my nutritionist, Jack Cope, who looks after me really well. And yeah, man, there's a lot more calories. I was having 4,000, 5,000 calories a day, whereas before I was on like 1,200 and starving myself.
But I tell you what's mad, right? Sometimes, like when you're in these weight cuts and situations, from my experience, like you actually end up eating more, don't you? You're eating healthy stuff, but your metabolism and however it works, I'm sure people are going, "That's not how it works." Chill out, you know what I'm saying? But like with weight cuts and stuff now, like at lightweight, how much do you have to cut? I mean, if it's a secret, it's a secret.
Yeah,
But
do you know what? I say fight week, I cut maybe at the most 4 kilos.
Oh, okay, so
the
it is
most.
easy.
Yeah,
Like
at the
not
most.
easy, but like it's doable.
It's doable. There's one fight I boxed lightweight where I didn't cut anything.
Damn,
I had
okay.
breakfast in the morning and I turned up and I weighed in and I was on the limit.
And would you weigh now, sitting here with me?
I don't know. That's the secret.
Yeah.
That's the secret.
That's the secret. Yeah.
But look, I like to always stay in the gym. I like to always be in shape. As a boxer, I always understood it as you got to look at the guys who are at the top of the game.
Yep.
And all of them will have something in common. It doesn't matter what sport, whether it's your football, your boxing, your tennis, your rugby. All the top guys, what I find they have in common is they all stay in shape. Someone like Ronaldo's always in shape. You don't see him in the off-season getting on the piss and stuff. He's always in shape. Someone like Mayweather was always in shape.
Yeah.
I was almost like 4 or 5 weeks ready for the call. So I try to keep myself in shape all the time. Obviously, you've got to have your fun here and there for your mental health. Otherwise, you go mad eating vegetables every day, innit?
Right, yeah. But it's like you said, though, it's a lifestyle, isn't it? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you said 29 now, right? So in 20 years, you ain't going to be a professional boxer. I mean, you might be. Shane Mosley the other night, 53. He's more than 20 years older.
Hey,
so.
Pacquiao done 46, innit?
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe you will. So maybe I have to take that back. But like,
we'll see.
you get what I'm saying? Like this is a short window of time anyway,
Yeah.
innit? Do you know what I mean? You've got the rest of your life to do all that kind of stuff.
Exactly,
Like I feel like nowadays more people are full-time pros in the sense that like you're a pro every day of the year. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, you have fun, you go away on holiday, I'm sure, and do all that kind of business. But you're always not in camp, but you're always looking after your body. Is that where you're at?
100%. I mean, it takes years of your career if you've got to start every single camp from zero. Like, there's no point me being a lightweight boxing at 61 or 135 pounds and then starting camp 70 kilo, 80 kilo. That means I now need 15 weeks, 12 to 15 weeks to get down to weight.
Well, you're essentially in fat camp, aren't you? You're
Exactly,
not really in a fight camp. You ain't got
pointless.
time to like work on your skills. You know, we've all been in gyms with people that are like fucking spending their time sweating out. Like I know people when I was boxing in the amateurs that were no names guys, but like that were sort of like boxing lighter than me. That was sort of like 5 to 8 kilos heavier than me in the gym, and you look at them and you go, mate, you ain't doing yourself any favours here, especially amateurs, right? Because amateurs is fucking weigh-in fight, not you ain't got a day before weigh-in situation. But even in the pros, some days like early days, you're weighing in on a day, right? I'm assuming you're past that level now, yeah.
Now I've done it a few times. I think obviously a lot more early in my career.
Yeah.
I've weighed in on a day, and it was almost I won't say it was a shock, but it was something to me where when you're an amateur coming up and you watch professional boxing, you almost only see the top 1% of the game.
Of course you do.
And you only see the day before weigh-ins, the glitz and the glam and the lights and all
You
that.
think everyone's rich as well.
Yeah, and you think flipping, you sign your contract and you're a millionaire. Sort of thing.
Yeah.
But obviously, I got to stage where I turned over, and the show I was on, obviously, you got weighing on the same day.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold on, where's all the glitz and the glam? And
Right, yeah.
where's
Where's my Porsche?
Yeah. So it was almost like, it's like, right, so even now you've got to work for it.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it's funny. I was with George Hilliard yesterday. Do you know George Hilliard?
Yeah.
So he was like, he's saying when he was in there with Barry Hearn and whatnot, how I'll give you the same contract as Chris Eubank Senior. It was like 15 million over 5 years, and he's like 21 or whatever. He said he was like, whoa, what the fuck is going on here? You know. Yeah. But that ain't the reality for most people, is it? Most people turn up, and the word pro is a loose term as well, isn't it? Because the reality is, even though you're a pro boxer, a lot of people have got, you're a pro boxer on a Saturday night, on Monday morning you're working on a building site or whatever.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of people think professional boxing is the same as football. I mean, everyone thinks pro athlete, they think of footballers,
right?
Especially over here. So they think the big wages, the lifestyle and everything. But it's professional boxing, you turn pro, you're still at your job.
Yeah.
I turned pro, I went to work that week.
Right.
Same thing. I mean, I think if I remember properly, I worked on the day of a fight.
That's mental,
I worked the morning of a fight. I worked the morning and went to the fight and boxed. I didn't tell my coach that, but I did.
Right.
You'll get paid. You got to pay.
You got to do. You got to do it.
You got to pay the bills, but it's how it is, man. And it's a tough game. It's a hard game, but at the same time, it's a rewarding game.
Right.
Because only in boxing can your life change overnight.
Yeah.
Or with a phone call. Right. Like we're sitting here, and any boxer in the gym, right, even the guys behind me training, Turkey Al-Sheikh could call them tonight.
Right.
And then they could be flying up to Saudi Arabia for the weekend and be on £500,000. Yeah. We saw it happen with Josh Padley and I think Ishmael Davis. Yeah, right. Them guys got the call, took the chance. Maybe didn't get the win, but the life changed forever. And I think with boxing, if you stick at it, it can be rewarding.
Yeah. And you got listen, in a sport like boxing more than any other, you got to get your money where you can because for my money, this is the most dangerous sport because you're getting punched in the head more than anything else, right? Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I've said this on it a million times, but we all know people that we've boxed with when we were younger. We knew what they was like when they were sharp and they're talking fast. And you see them now, and they're not that old, but they go, "How's it going, Youssef?" And you go like, I knew you when you weren't like that." Do you know what I mean? And like that's how it ends, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And like these people, I know people. Again, I've mentioned him recently, but I didn't mention his name then. I won't mention his name. I saw someone I used to box with who's a few years older than me, just out and about recently, and he was a very good boxer. This particular person, and I'm sitting there, and we got chatting. He's got a normal job now, not that there's anything wrong with that, but if you looked at him when he was younger, you thinking like, he's going to make money, he's never going to have to worry about that, and he was talking a bit, and you're like, man, that's the harsh reality of the game, isn't it? But like, no one wants to finish without the money they wanted to earn, and the achievements is a big thing too. Because from my experience with people that you've been around that have got sort of big promise, when they start falling down the levels, if you like, that's when things start to fall apart on them, isn't it? And let's be honest, you step in one of them rings anyway, you're a bit mad, right? So the wheels can come off. Do you know what I'm saying? The wheels can come off quite fast, can't they? But what's your situation now? I come in here, you're training people, so I'm assuming you're a boxer 365, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the gym pretty much 12 hours a day. Not training, obviously I train. I look after the amateurs here.
Yeah.
So I help out with the amateurs.
That's
train
cool.
them as well.
I like that. That's
sort
cool.
of like a giving back thing where you've got to remember where I started from as well, and help the kids. I do my part for the kids here, they want to get off the streets and do something good. So I've got to play my part. Also do PTs, one-to-ones in the gym as well.
Nice.
So I keep myself going because, as you say, boxing's up and down. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. So you got to keep yourself going.
Yeah.
And going. So, I mean, it is tough because obviously I just had a son.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you. About a year ago.
First one?
My first one.
Bosh, double congratulations. Another handshake.
So like, obviously it's in the back of my head where I've got to start setting up a bit more. I've got to be a bit more financially stable,
right?
Just for the sake of him and my family as well. But boxing so here, there, and everywhere. You sort of think, right? But like I said earlier, if you stick at, I believe if you stick at it long enough, it will reward you.
Yeah.
And you've got to believe in yourself as well. Like I've been in boxing a long time. I think it's coming up 20 years now. And like you're saying, it's almost like people, we have goals in the game, whether it's titles, financial, and I've been in the game so long, I can't leave with nothing.
Right.
I've got to leave with something.
Yeah,
I'm just going to stick at it and keep going as long as I can. And like I was saying earlier about the people that go on for too long and maybe, their speech is gone and that, you've got to have the right people around you.
Right.
To tell you, when it's time to leave it alone, they'll tell you. You don't want someone that's going to sort of like tell you to keep going just because they can see a little bit of some pound size in you if you keep going. Look at Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
There's some fights he had where you can even see him talking in the press conference, and you could tell his speech was going, and the guys around him were still pushing him to fight, maybe because they wanted to get their percentage out or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you got to have the right people around you that care for you.
That's it. Well, have you ever seen that documentary? It's either called Muhammad and Larry or Larry and Muhammad. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Mate, brutal. It's like the lead up for anyone who doesn't know. It's the lead up to the Muhammad Ali versus Larry Holmes fight. Yeah. And he's clearly like fucked up. Clearly gone. He's in the gym. There's a particular video and he's like standing there and he's going, and I'm going to dance. And it's like, bro, he can't talk. Like, he shouldn't be fucking fighting. They let him get in there and get like bashed up by Larry Holmes. Exactly. You know what I mean?
All that entourage around him, and not one of them they probably knew it.
Yeah.
But not one of them thought to go and say, listen, for the sake of your health.
They can't care, can they? They're just looking at it, like you said, they're just sucking off the teat, and do you know what I mean? They're getting their money. Yeah, that's it. Give me my money and that'll do, you know what I mean? But like, with the game here, you're obviously 29 now, so you've got, I mean, in this day and age, as we've said, I've mentioned some names, you said Pacquiao, I said Mosey, like, you've got a long time left in front of you if you want it. How do you feel? Have you got an exit strategy, or do you not even think like that?
I think I've got a few things in place. I still think there's a lot of things I want to achieve in boxing first. So I think my mind is fully set on doing
But I think that's the way it should be, right? Yeah, it should be like, I want to do this, and this. Because I feel like people get hurt more, or maybe not get hurt more, but they stick around too long when they kind of run out of goals. You know what I mean? Like these old fighters that come back, they've achieved it all, or they haven't quite achieved what they feel like they should. They're kind of sticking around for the sake of it. Do you know what I mean?
And it's a massive debate about Pacquiao at the moment.
Right.
A lot of people are saying he's come back because he's broke, or he's bored.
Right.
You got to have your goals, and you got to know what you want to achieve, not just in boxing, in your life.
Right.
And that way you can have some sort of structure.
Yeah. See, here's the thing with Pacquiao though. I was like when I heard he's come back, he's 46 and he's fighting for world title. I don't know about you, but I was a bit like, I love Pacquiao. But then, did you watch the fight?
Yeah.
I changed my mind, man. Pacquiao's back. I'm looking at Pacquiao going, mate, you fight as long as you want.
Yeah. I don't think anyone expected him to...
No, I didn't expect. I thought he won the fight, to be honest. Maybe I had the rose-tinted glasses on because I love Pacquiao, right?
I think a lot of people had that.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I feel like he won that fight.
He done well for someone who's 46, come back in the game off a 4-year layoff, coming off a loss as well. People forget, I think against Ugas, he got beaten up pretty bad. I remember seeing the video. He couldn't even feed himself. His wife had to feed him after that fight. Bashed up. And to come back and do that, I think it's a massive achievement.
But he had a couple of years out, so he's like
4 years out.
Is it 4? Fucking hell, it goes fast. But he's like, maybe he's just freshened up mentally, like he's ready to go again. Because I think from people that, like, I think to his people, if you like when he goes home, if you see the videos, he's like, it's like, it's like Muhammad Ali back in the day going to wherever he's from, right? Whereas some people, I think, they just get stale and they carry on and they carry on and they carry on. But I think like Pacquiao, I think was doing that a little bit because he had some fights where it's like, he's had that 4-year gap. But listen, 46 is old to be fighting, isn't it? Whatever way you want to cut it, but he didn't look old to me, so I'm all for it. Manny, let's do this, man. Let's go. Let's get another title.
Rolling next, isn't he? So.
Is he? Yeah. Oh wow.
Let's see how
Okay.
it goes,
Yeah. Well, the other night at the Shane Mosley, there were shouts for Shane Mosley to fight him and stuff. So who knows where it goes? They obviously fought. I don't know how long ago they would have fought. 12 years ago, something like that. 10, more than that. More than 10.
It was a while ago, innit?
Long time ago. But Pacquiao was one of the ones, like, for watching it live, you know, in terms of as it was happening. That was one of my favourites ever. Like getting up at 4 and you know it's like over here. You get up at 4 in the morning. Used to watch him when he knocked out Ricky Hatton and stuff like that. Mate, that was like some of the best times for me memory-wise. So I'm Pacquiao to the end. Do you know what I mean? I was gutted when he fought Mayweather. Do you know what I mean? It was too late. I personally think if he'd have fought him at that period. When he'd done, you know, De La Hoya, Hatton, Cotto, running through people, but we'll never know, will we? But like, let's go back a little bit further, mate. Like when you was 9 years old, did you come from a boxing family or anything like that?
Nah, not at all, not at all. My parents, I come from a good family. You know, my parents always supported me throughout. My mum did a little bit of karate when she was younger.
Okay.
And my dad did a bit of judo, but no real boxing, no real actual competition. How I really got into combat. You say combat, because I started with Taekwondo.
Okay.
I become a black belt in Taekwondo first.
All right.
Before...
We should have opened with that. Black belt in Taekwondo, and you've done a bit of boxing.
Yeah, I forgot, but it's so long ago I forget. So I got black belt in Taekwondo. My dad used to bring home Bruce Lee DVDs.
Okay.
He used to show me and he said, all them kicks and stuff. And I said, I want to try that. So it took me to Taekwondo, and I was doing Taekwondo for a long, long time. I can't remember how long it was. Got to the black belt. I still remember some of the patterns and stuff. I still remember a little bit.
Go and show us while we're on camera.
No, so we've done all of that, and then but it wasn't a competition.
Right.
It was the non-contact one.
Yeah, I got you.
And it got to a stage where I was getting, to be honest, I get a bit bored of it.
Right.
Because, you know, we're doing all these patterns and I want to push myself a bit more.
And you're what age? Is this still before 9?
Before 9,
oh, right. I was saying baby, really.
Yeah,
Really young, yeah.
Even when it was time to go, it was like, I can't bother.
Right.
I'm going to do all these patterns again. And I was like, I can't bother. My godmother lives near the All-Stars, right? So whenever we go there, we'd see the gym. I love the gym. The way the gym is, it stands out. It's like it's an old church, and so I was intrigued to see what's going on in there. And one day I just walked up the stairs, and I think from there I just fell in love with the game. I think one of the coaches walked up to me and he greeted me with a challenge. First thing he went, he goes, "Oh, what year for? What do you want?" It's almost like I shouldn't be here. I go, "Hold on, who are you talking to? Do you know what I mean? I want to be here." So from when I was initially greeted with the challenge, I was like, this is where I want to be. I'm already feel like I have to prove a point. Whereas at Taekwondo, it was just like, we're going to do the patterns again. Maybe next time it's going to be a 20-punch pattern. I don't know what it is. So, do you know what I mean? Not to knock the martial art, but it just wasn't for me at the time.
Bit late, man, now, mate. Shit all over Taekwondo.
They were going to come beat me up now, innit?
Try, I don't know about that. I think your double jab might be all right. But like with boxing, like you said, it is a bit of a... confrontational is maybe the wrong word, but you get where I'm coming from. Like the atmosphere is quite sort of strong, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? To go through the door and start training, it takes a bit of character anyway, doesn't it? And at 9 years old, not come from a boxing family, because and the reason I bring that up in terms of being 9 years old, you're too young to box, as we said. You got to be 11 to be carded up and back to box properly. Can you do skills bouts at that age before and all that business?
I don't think there was skills at the time. I think it was just get to 11 and you just box.
And then you can box properly. Because it's a funny game, right? Because 11 years old. Some kids at 11 look like they're 15. They got like a bit of a beard coming through and they're ready to go. Whereas 11,
missing it.
Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas some kids that are 11 look like they're 6.
I'll tell you a story. It's nuts. I remember my second fight, and they took me to this tournament called the Mini Minors. I don't know if it's still around. It's called the Mini Minors. I don't know if it's still around anymore. But so basically, all the junior schoolboy boxers turn up to this venue, and you get matched on the day. All right. So got there with my coach, weighed in, whatever. See some big fella just like taking his gloves out, in his bag. I looked at him and I said to him, I said, I feel sorry for whoever's going to box him. But no, he looks at least like 14, 15, 15. You know what I mean? So anyway, day goes on. I'm boxing towards the end of the show, so I'm just around. I start warming up, so I've warmed up now. But how the venue was, there was sort of a stage on that side, a stage on the other side. So blue corner's warming up there, red corner's there. So warmed up, I've come down the stage. The big fellas come out the other side. So as I'm walking to the ring, I've gone, coach, I think there's a mistake. So he turned around and go, what's wrong with you? What do you mean there's a mistake? I said, I can't be fighting that guy. He's like 15, innit? My coach went, he looked at me, looked at the other guy. I said, what, you fighting him? Like, what do you want?
You're all right, go on, get in there.
Yeah, and I went flipping. I was like, remember at the beginning of me saying, I feel sorry for who's fighting him, and it turned out to be me.
Turns out you, yeah.
I lost as well.
yeah, but that's what you get sometimes, isn't it? But for anyone who doesn't know, like unless you're in championships and you kind of got an idea who you're fighting, like if you're on club shows and stuff like that, you don't know sometimes till you get in the ring, right? You get a number, you're bout number 7 or whatever, and you're just in the changing room waiting, and then it's time to walk out.
You're talking like this with someone, you're boxing.
That's it. You do get that as well, because I had a similar. When I was 18, I boxed a 34-year-old, and I remember like coming down, and I think he was about 3 kilos heavier than me, but he had like tattoos everywhere. He like looked like a man. Do you know what I mean? I remember coming out and going, I hope it ain't him. You know what I mean? And then you get, the numbers are getting thinner, aren't they? And you go, fuck, I know it's going to be him. You know what I mean? It ends up being. But like from that, like that's 11 years old, right? You're having your first bouts and stuff, which is quite rare actually. A lot of people don't start boxing at 11, do they? They either start young and sort of drift away and whatnot, and then start later. But from what age did you go like, right, this is what I want to do. This is a career for me.
That's a good question. Actually, I haven't actually thought about it. I feel like boxing is just something I've done.
Right. Okay.
From so young.
I got you.
But there must have been a point where it turned, where I said, this is exactly what I want to do. I think, my mum's Filipino. So when we talk about Pacquiao, I had to watch Pacquiao.
Right.
I had to support Pacquiao, innit? Pacquiao was part of a thing where when he fought, all the family would come around and we'd watch him. And so,
that's cool, I like that.
Yeah, it was like, it was more than just a fight to us. So I think maybe watching him, sort of like you're saying, smash with De La Hoya, then he beat Hatton, and he was going for everyone. I think when I saw him and I saw the joy he had over people, especially like in the Philippines, when he goes back home, he's got so much of a joy where he almost became the president of the country. Imagine becoming a world champion. Imagine AJ. Imagine in 10 years' time, AJ runs for prime minister in England. Look at what the hell is that about? But he's actually done it and nearly got it. I thought I don't know, something about that drew me towards boxing. And I said, this is what I want to do. Maybe it's because I saw an opportunity to have a positive impact on people. Maybe.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Maybe that was a turning point for me.
Yeah. Was it? You said it's like been your whole life anyway. Was it one of them things like when you was a kid, you just kind of assumed you was going to be a boxer? Did it always work that way? Yeah.
I think as well as that, I started boxing at a time where I thought boxing wasn't cool. Nowadays boxing cool with your misfits and all these things. It's all cool. Boxing's all cool, and everybody wants to box. Boxing gyms are packed up and down the country.
Yeah.
I feel like even now in my area, there's about 3-4 boxing gyms. Whereas at the time there was none. Right. So I had to go to All-Star, it was a different area. But it wasn't cool, and I felt like everyone in my school and all my mates, everyone wanted to play football. And I felt I wanted to do something different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to play football and that. And I don't know, I just wanted to do something different. So I think that will push me to box more, made me want to do it more. It just made me want to do it. I don't know.
But it's mad because I can definitely resonate with that where you said about because back in them times you're talking about I'm a bit older than you, but we would probably started boxing sort of around a similar sort of time frame in terms of years. I was older, but they were tough places, weren't they? Do you know what I mean? It weren't easy to walk, like you said. You got met with a thing when you first walked in. They weren't easy to just put through a door and go, "Hi, I want to box." Is that all right? And oh, come on, mate. It weren't that back then. It was different back then. People would look at you and go, "What for? Like, what are we doing? Go on then, hit that bag." Do you know what I mean? It was like that kind of vibe. So it definitely wasn't trendy back then because when I started boxing, like my mates that were just my mates from whatever life. I didn't know anyone who boxed, do you know what I mean? I knew some boxers, but they weren't like in my circle. Like it was almost like seeing a unicorn a little bit, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? It was a bit like, he's a boxer. What, like a real boxer? What do you mean he's a boxer? He actually...
Everyone's a boxer now.
Everyone's a boxer.
You've got so many angles of boxing. You've obviously got professional boxing, you've got amateur boxing. You're influencer boxing.
Well, I'll tell you the one that gets me, the one I like. You know when people go, you go boxing, what amateur pro, they go, I'm a semi-pro. You know when you go,
what does that even mean,
well, firstly, there ain't no such fucking thing as a semi-pro, so cut that shit out, you know what I mean? But like, that's the new thing, people say I'm a semi-pro, which roughly translated means you're white collar boxer. Yeah, exactly. It's true, but like, it is what it is, isn't it? But like, there are certain things I find frustrating when people talk because they go like, they're 6-0, 4 knockouts, and then you find that.
Against who?
But that's like,
can all be 6-0.
Do you know what I'm saying? Exactly, and like, well, you tell me, you're a pro boxer. Does that rub? Do you not even think about that? I'm assuming, right? You don't even come in contact with it much.
Sometimes, I think sometimes I try to see the positive in the situation. So it does happen to me where guys come up to me and goes, I'm 4-0 with 4 knockouts, and they show you the fight and they're knocking out some guy that looks like he started boxing yesterday. Yeah, and you think that's not really fair. But I think everyone's got their own sort of journey and own. Then, boxing maybe saved him from being depressed or something. Well,
I've got no problem with it at all if it's fair matched. But you know yourself, like if you're going into a pro bout, of course you can knock someone out and it's a dangerous game. But like for the most part, you're in there, everyone's getting what they want, if you like, right?
Yeah,
if you're going up the levels, it's fair fight. Early days, you might have your journeyman that are getting through the rounds and they're trying to stay safe and not get knocked out so they can box next week, whereas you're the prospect, etc. Everyone knows this. Amateurs, you get matched up well, club shows. If you're in championships, you're already at a good level, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, like, historically, and I've said this, sorry, I'm a broken record, but like, on white collar shows, you know what it's like. Sometimes you get someone, maybe not to the level you are, but you know what I'm saying? Someone with like a background like you, who's had a few years off, you've got a bit of a belly on, and you go and get back into boxing, you go and box someone who's had 2 white collar bouts, and it's like, whoa, what are we doing?
I tell you what, I had a mate. I weren't training him, but I was helping him train for a white collar, right? And out of the blue, he sent me a video. Goes, "This is the guy I'm boxing." I looked at the video. But you know, this guy is a novice. Less than a year. He sent me the video of the guy. So I said, "Are you sure this is the guy?" He said, "That's the guy." Yeah, they confirmed that's the guy. The guy like he boxes. I've searched him up on the socials and that. Found out he does a bit of kickboxing. Did my research. The guy's had 45, 50 kickboxing fights.
Nah. And
you're going to fling him in with a guy that's been boxing for 4 months.
Nah.
It's out of order, innit?
It's dangerous, man. And the problem is, like, someone might look at that and go, it's at 45, but forget that, they're kickboxing fights. Because that's the thing, too.
Yeah.
He's only had 3 boxing matches, he'll be fine. He ain't fucking fine. Like, he's made that walk 45 times.
Exactly.
And that's a big part of it, is like the sitting in a change room thinking,
one person's going to be shitting themselves.
That's it.
And the other one's going to be...
Yeah, and let's be honest, listen, if you've had a wealth of experience and you're fighting someone who's getting... Not that I'm knocking it by any means, but if you're getting in there with someone who's having their 3rd white collar bout, you know you ain't got no weight on your shoulders, right? You're sitting there going...
Exactly.
Whatever, man. I've sold tickets to all my mates, I'm going to look like a superstar tonight.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And because I've been to shows at times, and like the thing that gets me is there's guys on it, and I keep speaking about it, I'm not being specific on people here, but like I've been at like things and the guys giving it the big, I'm going to knock you out, I've got 6 knockout, blah, blah. You get in there, they can't fight, right? They literally, I mean, if you held pads from, they'd probably lose. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking like, and they get knocked out and whatnot, which is not, you don't want to see that, but it's almost in a way, it's not their fault. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like they've been sort of lulled into this. But I don't know. But there's a lot of good shows out there. Like I don't know if you've heard of a fellow called Danny McLaren. He does DK and plush boxing.
Yeah, I know DK and plush.
Sitting chatting to him is like, it's a big thing for him. It's fair fights.
Always good matches on that show.
Good matches, yeah, exactly. Which it should be, right? You know what I mean? I've been to shows as well. I think it's called UWC, Ultimate White Collar. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know.
They train for like 6 weeks, whatever. I helped train a friend of mine for that, blah, blah, blah. And like, some people have actually knocked that, but it wasn't my experience. I've only been to one of them where my mate boxed on, and it was very well matched. Like some people that looked like they had just started boxing 6 weeks ago, but they were fighting someone else who looked like started. So it's no problem. The only thing that threw me a little bit, there was 2 guys before my mate was coming out to box, and it'd been a really good show. And you know when you're going, yeah, this is cool, this is great. Everybody's relaxed. I'm like, he's in a safe environment. He's going to have a real match against someone, and it's great. The bout before him, 2 guys come out. They were probably like light flyweights, and they were slick, and they were dropping the top man, popping it. And you know when you look at it and you're starting to sweat, going, I hope you ain't boxing someone like this.
It's my guy already, Joe.
Exactly. It worked out, and my guy got a second round stoppage. So that was a good night out. But like from here now, like you said you lost your last bout. Not that I'm bringing up old shit, mate. But no, but like what's going forward now? Have you got anything set up and anything coming?
I'm waiting at the moment, and I'm willing to take any fight.
Okay.
You know, I feel like in boxing nowadays, as I want to call it, protection culture, where a lot of guys protect their fighters. A lot of managers or promoters, whatever you call them, they protect their fighters.
Right.
They want to take fights where their guy is 70% in their advantage. 70-30 fights, to build up the record, to make them look better than what they are, and it creates false hype.
Right.
You know, this boxer that they're building up is going to get to a certain stage, and they're going to get found out.
Right.
They need to forget about this, because this ain't boxing, this ain't combat sport. That's not what sport. Boxing was built, the legacy of boxing is built on guys like the Fab Four, Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns that just fought anyone, you know, on the way up and gave the fans big fights.
Right.
Now we've got to wait years and years for big fights.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying? We haven't even had Joshua versus Fury.
No.
We're not bothered anymore.
Well, what's mad is Joshua, there's a good chance Joshua goes through his whole career without fighting Fury or Wilder. I know Wilder's fell off, but for a long time they were the three.
That was the fight, yeah. So I feel like I want to be the guy that's out there willing to take any fight that gets thrown at me.
Really?
Obviously, albeit in the right weight and stuff. You know, don't throw me no silly middleweight fight and say, oh, look, he's talking shit because you don't want to take it. Give me the right fight at the right weight, and I'll fight. And then we'll see if this guy's good enough. Because there's a lot of hype around certain guys. I'm a lightweight. There's a lot of lightweights out there that's got hype. You know, Cameron Vong's got hype. Sam Knot's got hype. I know he's going world level. But I don't feel like these guys fight the right kind of opponents for us to see where they're at. You know, they're giving guys late notice. They're bringing guys up from super featherweight. You know, we know what you're doing. Come on, let's be real. We know what you're doing. You know, if they want to put it to the test and fight a real fight, have a real fight, shout me.
Ooh, I like
Let's
it.
have it. Simple as that.
But to your point, I do think like, I know this sounds a bit hippie-fied, but like, listen, we're only at the right age to do this for a short period of time, right?
Yeah.
Do it now. Like to me, get it done, right? Because you don't want to be in a situation where you're 50 and you're out somewhere and there's someone who's in your weight division and people, oh, you two could have fought him. Didn't happen, right? Like, do it now when it happens, which is why obviously the Saudi thing's coming in now and he's starting to push things.
For boxing.
Exactly.
And the biggest thing is, it's had a big effect so Saudi's the pinnacle.
Right.
It's trickled all the way down to the small shows, where promoters are now, say at the 5v5, small promoters are now doing similar shows. Where they're putting 5v5s on or 50-50 fights packed up, because nothing's worse than going to a show and you read the card and you can tell who's going to win. You might as well not turn up.
Well, what happens is the show's completely empty till the main event, right? Or the co-main, because everyone's like, don't care.
Yeah.
What time's Usyk Dubois on? I'll turn up for that.
Like
you know what I mean?
The fight's not even in the bookies because you know who's going to win.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you like, well, historically as well, a lot of tickets were sort of to people that were on the undercard, like it was just their mates, right? So a lot of them would get there also, and like your mates fought on the fourth bout, and you're kind of semi-interested, not if it's a world title fight that's top of the bill, but back in the day, you know, it was like you go York Hall and you'd look, your mates just fought, and you'd look up the card and you go, I'm all right, I'll go home now. Do you know what I mean? So it works both ways, doesn't it? But like, if we step back a bit, when you turned pro, what was your direct goal in the sport? I'm assuming most people say world champion, right? Was that what you was thinking?
Yeah, 100%. And I think for me, it was just doing something in my life that I enjoyed.
Okay.
I enjoyed boxing. I still do. Maybe not as much. But
really?
Okay. Maybe not as much.
What is that, the business side of it?
Business side of things.
Right.
But I think for me, it was just doing something that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And even I couldn't. Sometimes I wake up when I just turned pro. I would wake up and think, I'm actually a professional boxer, and you know, stuff like having a box rec.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Be like, I could search my name on the internet and I'll have a box rec, and I was doing interviews and stuff, and it's just amazing to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm actually doing stuff that me and my mates should just sit around and talk about doing maybe one day. It was like a big thing for me, and the goal's still the same. I still want to be a world champion. Yeah. But I think the roots changed. You know, I feel like. I'm just willing to fight anyone. Right. Yeah, I'm not bothered about this, that. Nah, I'll just fight.
And like you said, you've got a son and stuff now, so I'm assuming like the outside of boxing stuff counts as well, doesn't it? You know what I mean? You got to be sort of a businessman as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but like with the sort of, you've said like 21 fights. Did you say as a pro?
21. Yeah.
See my maths there, guys. That was bang on. Yeah. But like, so you've had a serious career already, haven't you? Really, like a lot of people never get anywhere close to that many bouts when they turn pro. But like from here going forward, your next 10 are sort of, I don't want to say more relevant than the others, but you know where I'm coming. You're already at a certain level, so now's like where you're at. Like, do you see a route for yourself to get to like where you want to be?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I see myself. If I'm honest, I see myself. What is it? I lost my last fight.
Yep.
A lot of these guys are probably going to see me as vulnerable because taking a loss. Like I said, they don't like taking fights against guys who they feel are going to give them a bit of a challenge. They want to fight guys where it's 70-30. They might see me and say, oh, he's lost his last fight. Let's fight him.
I see. So in a roundabout way, it could be like a blessing going forward.
And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to rip up the script.
That's it, yeah.
I want to rip up the script. Simple. I don't need to shout and swear. I'm going to rip up the script.
Yeah, well, there you go. Watch this space, and maybe we'll get you back on when you've got a world title fight pending or something like that.
That's it.
But like, if we look at the sport in itself, like we spoke a little bit briefly about Saudi and stuff, and like obviously where we met was with Dubois and Usyk sort of build up and stuff like that. Was you at the fight? Did you go to the
No,
fight?
I missed the fight.
You missed the fight? Okay, cool.
I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, yeah, that counts. Small print, yeah. But like, you obviously watched the fight, right? Like to me, that's the first time I've seen him fight live, Usyk. I think I might have seen him years ago against Joe Joyce, but I've said this before. Whatever, doesn't matter. From memory, that's the first time I've seen him fight live. But he's he's class, man. He's class, and like we're like. People are talking about what did Daniel Dubois quit and all this kind of stuff. I'm not really interested in any of that. I just don't think it was a close fight.
Yeah, I'd be like, it doesn't really matter, to be honest.
Doesn't matter. That's what I'm getting at.
He
weren't winning that night.
And a lot of people are talking about this party beforehand. I don't think he really played a part. No. You know, like whether he was going to win, he was going to win. If he was going to, he was going to. I think like a little gathering before the fight. He did the same thing before the AJ fight.
Well, that's what they're saying as well, right?
10 bells out
but
of
also, yeah, exactly. And also, you don't know the context on that. He might have. It could have been not know anything, obviously, but you don't. He might have been in a bit of a lull during the day, and his dad thought, "Fuck it, let's get some people around livening him up." Do you know what I mean? You don't know what's going on.
Context.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know why. You don't know what. You don't know nothing. But at the end of the day,
about boxing, right? Is let's take someone that doesn't watch football.
Yeah.
if they watch the World Cup final,
Yeah.
they're not going to run around and start having opinions
Nah.
about why this player is rubbish or this player shouldn't have played.
Certainly not from a technical point of view.
Exactly. Or they're not going to watch Cup final
Nah.
and say, oh, Man City this and da-da-da-da. But with boxing, people will tune in once or twice a year.
Yeah.
I wasn't to know everything about boxing.
Everyone's an expert, bro.
Everyone's
an
an
expert. Should have jabbed.
Yeah,
Got to jab
on the
more.
blow
Hands
team,
up.
Yeah, he should have done this. Oh, why didn't he? He needs to change his coach.
Yeah.
And come on, man. You don't
Well, that's
watch
the big
boxing.
one as well. He's got to change his coach every time someone loses. Anytime
Yeah.
anyone's ever lost, he's got to change everything. It's
Yeah,
like,
I think it's silly.
well, at the same time, you've got to look at Usyk, right? Twice he's beat Fury, Joshua, and now Dubois.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's a bit more the other route that Usyk's just pretty fucking good, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
and he is. He's class, isn't he?
He's
He's
almost
class.
like not praising the winner.
Yeah, it is, of course it is. Yeah.
Sometimes you just lose to the guy that's better on the day.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fair
And
enough. It's not
like
when
you
you change your coaches. That's so sad.
Nah, it's not. And like you said, like he weren't winning that night either. Like Dubois weren't winning that night, was he? Like there's nothing.
It's a big ask.
There's a big ask. Sorry, I nearly said there's nothing to do. Of course, there's something he could have done. But like in terms of his skill set, his mindset, and stuff like that, you could see it from the opening bell to me. Do you know what I mean? Like it looked like very kind of. Yeah, he didn't have a bad second round from memory, but like it was clear straight away. It was like. Oh yeah, this fight's only going one way. Do you know what I mean? Because I actually, and I said it on here, so I can't lie. But like, of course, I picked Usyk most of the time. But on fight week, I started to go. Do you know what? I think Dubois might chin him.
I
here.
wanted Dubois to do it.
Right.
Obviously, being from here as well.
Yeah.
I know Don very well.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, I know Don very well. So I wanted Dubois to go there and do it, man.
Yep.
But it's a shame. But you know what? He's still got a long career ahead of him.
27 years old. I think I'd say the problem where the manner of his losses, I feel like, forget the quitting side of things. I'm not saying he quit, but like, I think there's definitely an issue there, right? In terms of like, when things start to go, he does start to sort of go into a shell, and I don't know. There's an issue there, isn't there? There's something he's got to revisit, I think, there. And like, people keep saying, "Oh, his dad shouldn't be in the corner, and whatever." Yeah. We don't know the situation. We don't know why he's there. We don't know what. I think he's got a great team.
And because Don brought him back from, he lost his Zhang.
Yeah.
Everyone thought he was finished.
Uh-huh.
And you brought him back.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Like, that people forget his last 3 fights before that, like where he's turned it round and he started looking like a killer. Look what he did to AJ. Do you know what I mean?
I'm saying?
Come on. And
everyone loved him after that.
He was the biggest thing. He was the new Mike Tyson. He was
trust me.
this and that. And like all of a sudden, he's lost and everything's wrong and useless. So it's a tricky one. There's no easy fix, is there? But it'll be interesting to see because inevitably Usyk's 11 years older than him. Usyk ain't going to be around his whole career unless Dubois decides to retire early. We don't know. Yeah. But I mean, he don't need the money after that one, does he? Do you know what I mean? He's cool. He should be cool. But it's like with that, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the new wave because there's a geezer out there, Moses Atalma, who I think. I think he's the real deal. Like, I don't know what your opinion is on him.
He's a real deal, and a fair play to him. He's taken a tough fight.
Yep.
He's taken
big tough fight. Yeah.
Big tough fight.
Dylan White, for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about.
Obviously, I know Dylan well.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, he used to manage me.
Okay. You know him very well.
And he's not someone that's gonna come in and just. What's the word? He's gonna give it a real go.
I don't think he's got that in him, does he, Dylan? I think every fight is a proper fight. I think he's in there till he can't fight no more.
Exactly, that's him.
That's him.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what I had. I don't know if you've heard a fellow called Daniel Sam. He was, you know what I'm talking about, right? Kickboxer, right? He's been on here. Shout out Daniel Sam, great guy. He fought Dylan White in kickboxing.
Man.
Did you? Do you know?
I won his.
Oh, you won it? Yeah. Do you know he fought Dylan White in kickboxing?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and Dylan White beat him, and he said to me like Dylan White. That's exactly basically his thing when we was talking about it on a podcast. That Dylan White was like. He was just an animal, basically. I'm butchering it. He went into it a bit better than I just did. But he basically said, about Dylan White, that was what made him what he was that constant. He weren't going out. And I think it's a great fight to have at this stage. And a brave fight for Atalma to have at this point in his career, isn't it? Because Dylan White's not that old, is he? How old is Dylan White?
He's 30.
He's probably 30. No, I think he's a bit older than that. He's probably 36, something like that.
Yeah, so I remember as a heavyweight, you go on a bit longer.
I think, and also I just feel like this day and age, if you're looking after yourself, going back to what we was talking about you earlier about being a full-time pro like year round, that ain't that old now. Usyk's 38, do you know what I mean? And
primes are getting later.
Mate, I think so. If you look after yourself, I just feel like.
Exactly.
It is what it is, isn't it?
Exactly.
But like, if you go up and down the divisions, I'll tell you one that was on that card as well, and I've spoke a bit about this before, is the Lawrence Okoli fight, which was right before. Did you watch that fight?
No disrespect to Lawrence, I can't watch Lawrence, man.
Oh, really?
I can't watch Lawrence, man. No, look, he's fantastic what he does.
Yeah.
And he's a great champion and stuff, but... Yeah, I was going to be honest, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's not for me, but he has some wicked knockouts.
Yeah.
He has some wicked knockouts.
I find him quite frustrating to watch.
Yes.
Like,
that's
frustrating to watch because it's almost like you're watching him and you're going... You could do this.
You could knock him out now.
You could finish this, but you're kind of like plodding through it and making this more than it is. But a part of that might also be it's the last fight before Usyk the bar, and it's like, come on. Get this done. But it's likely. But the thing with Lawrence, what you find, because he came in very heavy for his for his framing, he's a massive guy. Like he's got a big wingspan. He's probably 6'5" and something like that. But I wonder, and I've said this again before, I'm repeating myself non-stop today, but it's like, I wonder, was it sort of like him trying out a heavier weight in his body to see where he sits as a heavyweight and whatnot? I wonder, because I think frustrated is the best way I can put it. Like, I've watched Lawrence a lot of times where it's like, it's almost there, and there's been performances where you go, there you go, now he's turned the corner, and it's not that he can't do it. Do you know what I'm saying? He is that guy.
He's a phenomenal. I think he's a phenomenal boxer. I think.
Yeah.
You probably don't remember, but I spent some time around him.
Right.
He used to train with the same trainer that Charlie Edwards was with at the beginning.
Okay.
And I used to go and spar with Charlie and his brother. So I've been around him, and in the gym he's a machine, man.
Is he? Yeah.
The guy is a machine, man.
Yeah.
He's like, to watch someone train, I think it taught me a lot of that.
Right.
To see how hard he pushes himself.
Right.
And train, and his mentality towards training as well. And yeah, man. But you know what it is? I think it's just maybe you need someone to get the best out of him.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. The reason with him and Atama and all the guys that are going through is like when Usyk does retire, there's going to be a wave of heavyweights, isn't it? And it's all going to be sort of like scramble for the belt, and you know
which
what I mean?
Is good for us.
I think it's great.
Boxing fans, we get to see fights.
But like with the Saudi thing going on now, I feel like we're going to see the fights too, which is big. Like, do you know what I mean? We're not going to miss out on fights anymore.
There's
hopefully,
no excuse now.
It's going to happen.
Putting the money up.
Mate, mad money, mad money, mad money.
We're seeing all the fights.
As that, and the one that's obviously coming, which is he's put out there, is the Canelo Crawford fight, right?
Exactly,
now, have you got much of an opinion on that one?
I'm going to sit on the fence.
Oh yeah, you want them? Yeah.
I'm going to be a coward. I'm going to be a coward and sit on the fence.
Yeah.
It's, Crawford is probably one of the most skillful boxers of our time.
Yep, I believe so.
So is Canelo, but Canelo's going to come in with a bit more weight.
Yep.
And, not to bring it up, but he's failed some drug tests before. So God knows what. God knows if them lot. I think another one of Reynoso's fighters failed another drug test the other day. Oof. So it's not looking good. It's one of them fights where I sort of, having an opinion going into a fight, I don't enjoy it as much.
Yep. Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting.
Because I'm sort of, I want to be right.
Of course, yeah, we all want to be right. Yeah.
If I say Canelo, Canelo to win, I just want to go in there and see what happens.
I have a hard time with this one. Gun to the head, I'd take Canelo just because you put your money on the bigger man. Yeah. But the one thing that sticks in my mind, I don't think I've heard many people speak about, is Canelo's chin, man. Canelo's never been down. Canelo's never even been troubled, right? So why is the smaller man going to suddenly trouble him? Now, that obviously, listen, don't go, you don't know boxing. That doesn't mean he can't get his head pinged off. Of course it does. But like, yeah, I'm having a hard time seeing past the Canelo win on this one. However, people get old overnight, and Canelo's been pro for 20 years, even though he's still relatively young. Right? We've all seen countless fighters that just turn up one day and it's over, right? And that could happen. Look at what Crawford did to Spence. Not that necessarily Spence was old, but we thought that was going to be a great fight. I was leaning towards Crawford on that one. I think a lot of people were, but like, listen, that weren't even a fight in the end, was it? Do you know what I mean?
Like, beat down, innit?
There you go, exactly. And Crawford's also actually, even though we don't think of it that way, he's actually older than Canelo, which is quite mad.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. But I'm having a hard time with this one. As I'm speaking about it with you now, I'm kind of half changing my mind. But
it's a tough fight.
It is a tough fight.
It's fights like that create the conversation that we need.
It is. But also, Crawford, I don't think Crawford looked great going up the weights in his last fight. Was it his last fight or 2 fights ago? What was the one where he looked a bit stale? But whatever, regardless. I mean, they're all sort of preparation for this, I guess, aren't they? So you never know. But like, fuck, I'll be watching it, bro. I know that. I'll be watching the fight. And I tell you what's really good about this too. I don't know if do you watch any UFC at all by any chance?
I don't want to sit and say I'm a massive fan. But when there's a big show on, I'm tuning in.
Well, the reason I ask is because when you watch a UFC card, normally like the main card, if there's 5 fights, they're normally all good fights. Whereas boxing historically, like we said earlier, ain't like that. But again, that's another thing they're doing now, isn't it? All the fights are pretty heavy duty. Which is what you want. And fights that are relevant with names that you want. Because listen, if 2 people fight, it could be a great fight. But if you don't know who they are beforehand, you ain't excited to watch it, right? You need to know who they are before, which is what gets you sort of plugged in to watch it. But like with fights going forward now, I do have faith in the Saudi system, if you like.
Hopefully,
And I want to be honest, I don't know if it's been spoken about much, but I want to get rid of the fucking belts. I want one belt. I want to see one champion again.
I know. That would be ideal. I mean, we'd see even more matchups.
Yep.
That way. I think boxing is, being a world champion is watered down, isn't it?
It is, of course it is.
There's so many.
Of course
you've got your international titles, your continental titles. You don't even know which one's above, which one's this, which one's that. And I think what they've basically done is a world ranking. You used to have your champion and your rankings. They've turned the rankings into belts.
Of course, yeah, it's all about money, isn't it? Like the organising bodies, sanctioning fees, the whole deal. But like, back in the day, like for instance, you sort of said about Sugar Ray Leonard, Hagler, Hearns, Duran, all them guys. Like back in the, I know there was the WBA and WC going around, but for the most part, like you knew who the middleweight champion was, right? There was one. That was it. He's the king of the world in that division. And I think we got to get back to that. And UFC's like that too, right? There's one UFC champion.
You see fights and you see being the champion has so much commercial value, and because there's only one belt, people are fighting for the belt.
But I think that's what it should be. One world champion. If you're world champion, I'm world champion. He's world champion. He's world champion. We're all the same weight.
Exactly,
we're all world champion. What's really a world champion?
I'll avoid him. You'll avoid him.
Do you know what I'm saying?
We'll just fight. I'll fight a number one contender. He'll fight another number one contender.
There you go.
And then we don't see the fights I want to see.
I look better than you in my last fight, so I'm number one. But he looked better than me then, so now he's number one. It's like, hey, world champion to me should be like top of the top
you fight
forever.
Two.
Yeah, exactly. I think like one Olympic gold medal, wasn't there? Do you know what I mean? There's not two Olympic golds. You know what I mean? But hey, what do I know? What do we know? Nothing. Babbling idiots. Yeah, exactly. Babbling idiots and stuff like that. But like, I'll tell you one thing. I'm always interested with professional fighters, especially boxers actually, because they do it a lot different to each other. Like, what's your sort of week of training look like? Firstly, out of camp, and then how long before camp does it turn into sort of a bit different for you?
Like I said earlier, I try to keep it a lifestyle.
Yep.
So I always try to be in the gym. I try to keep my training schedule the same, so that when I do take it up, it's not too much of a toll on my body. Because I feel like when people go from here to here in intensity, they get injured.
Yep.
Because body not ready. So I try to keep relatively close when I'm at camp. So, you know, if I do my running 3 times a week, I feel like boxing been around years and years and years, right? So the formula has been there for years and years. It's not hard. I mean, like, if Ali and Fraser and these guys are doing 15 rounds, you know, the formula's there. And all them guys just do is they're running. So I always get my running in, my road work 3 times a week, whether it's my sprints or my hills, or I get my road work in 3 times a week. I do my S&C twice a week, which is good for injury prevention.
What's your S&C look like? Because that's where people go way off the radar one way or another, don't they?
I got a fantastic S&C coach, Neon.
Okay.
He's at Intent Fitness. And he breaks down the camp into phases. So, you know, we have a preparation phase, our strength phase. I think it goes strength, power, or strength, endurance, and then strength and power towards the end.
That's cool.
He's told me many times why we do it. I don't remember.
Don't matter, does it?
Yeah, I just do it.
Just point, coach, and I'll do it.
Yeah, lift this, pull that, carry that, I just do it. But it's proper structured and broken down into phases of the camp. And it's good because you know what you're doing as soon as you get into the gym. There's nothing we get in there. He's not going, right, lift that today. But, you know, it's already all done on some sort of program that he's got, which is good. So I'll do that twice a week.
Nice.
And then I'll box Monday to Friday.
Do you? Yeah, Monday to Friday. 2 days off at the weekend, is it?
I'll do my sprints on a Saturday.
Right, okay, cool.
So I'll do Monday to Friday, sprint on Saturday.
That's cool.
And I'll have Sunday off.
How often do you spar?
Honestly, depends on how I'm feeling. I try to aim for twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. But with me and coach, we sort of gauge it on how I'm feeling.
Right, because that's another trendy thing nowadays as well. People talking about not having to spar much, right? Which I completely disagree with. I think if you could only do one thing, it would be spar, right? Exactly. So how can you take that out of the equation? Like,
I feel like a lot of people, I don't know, maybe because of social media, they forget the end goal or what the purpose is of boxing. And we do the pads, we'll do the bags, we do the shadow boxing. Everything is to prepare ourselves for the real thing. The closest thing to the real thing in training is sparring.
Yeah, I agree.
So if we're not going to spar, we're only going to get good at doing the pads. So we're just training to look good on pads. We're just training to look good in the bag. We're actually training to look good in the ring.
Yeah, doesn't make sense to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, and people, the argument against it is it's dangerous and whatever. Listen, you're in a dangerous sport. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. This is what it is.
That's your mentality. Forget it. Just
go and play something else. Go and play tennis. Pick up a racket. Do you know what I mean? This ain't for you because I'm big on that. I really believe that. And like, especially like if you go back to amateur days, you know what it's like in an amateur club. You have exactly. You're fucking.
You used to spar Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it used to be so intense because you weren't really going to get any attention, or you weren't going to get matched up unless you were doing a number of people on sparring. So sparring was intense.
And also, listen, from my point of view, my experience anyway, it was very much like, you ain't got a lot of say in it anyway. It was like, oh, Ollie, get your gear on, go, sparring time. You go, oh, okay, get your gear on.
Yeah, you get in. He's about 20 kilos heavier than you.
Yeah.
He's what he's
mate, I used to spar a lot with Joe Joyce. Like, Joe Joyce was in my club. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, look at the size, do you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the time, and like, don't get me wrong, I weren't doing 8 rounds with him and getting lumped up, but like, you know, do a round with him, now do a round with a flyweight, or featherweight, not flyweight. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Move around, now have another round with him, and now Joe, you're back in with Joe. Like,
you learn your craft, innit?
You ain't got a lot of say in it. Listen, if Joe's in a bad mood that day and he wants to lump, you know what I mean?
You're in trouble, innit?
But what the point is, like, that's what it is, isn't it? And I just don't think that can go away because how do you not spar? That doesn't make any sense to me in the world. And I've had people on here that speak and they spar like once a week. One of the guys, I can't remember what it was, and not that it's wrong because he's doing well and whatever, but it's
works
like,
for people.
He spars once every 2 weeks.
I feel like, I mean,
to me that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, for me that's sort of unheard of.
Yeah.
But if that works for some people, because I know Van Holyfield never used to really spar.
Yeah.
And he's multiple world champion.
Well, Nigel Benn said that. I was around Nigel Benn for a day, and he said like he didn't spar much. It was like the last 6 weeks he'd do a couple of times a week, but it wasn't like. Nigel Benn was an interesting one because you'd think he'd be fucking having tear-ups in the gym by his stuff. But he said he used to do a little bit light rounds, few rounds. That'd do me because it was just getting his time in. So I mean, it is horses for courses, isn't it? But like, I just feel like. Yeah, that's mad to me. Like, and I've also, here's another thing. When I was in the club, that was the bit you'd look forward to, right?
Exactly.
Like, you know, it's like sometimes you're in an amateur club. Like you said, you don't always get attention. So sometimes you're on the bag, another round. You're looking at the clock going, fucking, how many rounds I've done it? You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden it's, you get ready for sparring. You're like, thank fucking God. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I've got some time now to do something.
Time to actually do something.
Yeah.
So I was like, I remember, that's exactly what I used to go to the gym for, to spar.
Right.
It got to a stage where I go into the gym, right? And then me and my mates would be idiots. We'd send someone upstairs and be like, ask coach if they're sparring today.
Yeah, yes.
Then
Send the idiot up.
Yeah. Exactly. And then he'd come back down and be like, oh yeah, he said, no, we're doing technical today. And we'd be like, oh, we're not going in today. We're just going to go to
Yeah,
Do you know
exactly.
what I mean? We'll come back Wednesday.
Yeah, right.
We'd only go with sparring. Like, honestly, there was a time I went in and I overheard coach saying there's no sparring today. I went on.
Yeah, right. Just
You know what I mean?
straight
That's
back
what it
out
was.
the door.
So like, for me, for some people to say, and like, look, fair play, if it works for them, it works for them.
Yeah.
But like, for someone to say, yeah, I don't like sparring or I don't sparring, it's almost like...
Well, that to me, roughly translated, means you don't really like boxing. So maybe do something else.
you
We're talking about you don't like sparring. That's the whole sport, isn't it? You know what I mean? And I know, obviously, listen, sparring and fighting is different, of course. But, you know, it ain't as different as hitting the bag and fighting, is it? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that don't compute. But what do I know? I'm a blockhead. Don't listen to me. But, like, if we go, like, to, let's say, we're sitting here, you're 29 now. When we go to, say, I don't know, 5 years on from now, where are you in your career? You're world champion and sort of looking at the end of the road. By the way, I've framed that question, I'm not putting words in your mouth. You tell me.
It's a weird one, you know. I've been boxing so long and I love boxing so much. That foot in the back of the head that one day you got to give it up is there.
Right.
But it's something, I'll be honest, I don't try to think about.
Right, good man. I don't think you should be while you're in a career either, should you?
I just want to keep going as long as I can. And when my coach says it's time to hang it up, time to hang it up.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'll keep going like...
I thought you were going to say it's time to get a new coach.
Never. No. Me and coach.
Did you turn pro with him?
Turn pro.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know I won't go anywhere else.
Yeah, I got you.
I won't go anywhere else. Like, being bond with him is more than boxing.
Right.
You know, and he teaches me a lot, not just boxing, my life as well. He's there for me in my life as well. So it's deeper than just boxing.
Yeah, I got you.
But, as soon as he says it's time, it's time.
And is this the man in the ring I'm looking at?
Yeah, that's him there, yeah. So,
what's his name?
Xavier Miller.
Shout out to Coach Xavier Miller.
Shout out, coach. And then, until then, we're going. Like, he winding up. I'm going to Manny Pacquiao was on 46. So I'm going to go till I'm 46.
47. So I was going to say 47, right? But
47.
You think this is, yeah.
That's the thing for now, yeah. So.
But world champions where we're at, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we got to aim big. You got to aim high.
100%. And like people say, I think Freddie Roach was the one that said it. Like, if you're in this sport and you're not aiming to be world champion, you're in the wrong sport anyway, and it's not for you. And I think there's something to that, right? Yeah. The vast majority of people that step into a boxing ring are never going to get a world title. They're never going to get close to it. But like, you've got to a level now where you're fighting at championship level as a pro. Like, you got to go, haven't you? You got to go.
Yeah, it's almost like boxing. You're one win away.
Of course, yeah.
That's my energy. You're one win away. Like I said, the bar. When he lost to Joe Joyce, everyone, he's done, he's finished, blah, blah, blah. But look what he did, one win against Hergovich, put him back in the mix.
Yeah, of course he did, yeah.
You all one win. If Dillian beats Itama, he's back in the mix.
Of course he is.
He's been out for I don't know how many years now.
No, right.
He's back in the mix.
And if Itama beats him, oof.
He's in the mix.
He's proper in the mix,
We're all one win away. We're all one win away. So, you know, obviously I've lost a few fights. Don't let people out there, don't let a loss put you down. You're only one win away to bounce back. You know, you can always bounce back.
Yep, I got you. Well, mate, listen, this has been great. I appreciate your time. It's been great to talk to you. I'm sure we'll do this again at some point. 100%. Before we finish, I always ask the most important question. I've seen some pictures on Instagram, so I don't think this is going to go well, guys. Which football team you support?
Fulham, man.
Wrong answer, but never mind. We're getting back to it. Why Fulham? You're from North London.
The first ground I've been to.
Okay, fair enough.
First team I actually watched myself.
All right, cool. Obviously don't like trophies. Never mind. Correct answer is Chelsea. My guy, top man. I always finish with a fist up like this, mate. Squeeze the neck. Boom.
Boom.